At 69, Dwight Yoakam finally tells the truth about Sharon Stone. Dwight Yoakam was born Dwight David Yoakam on October 23, 1956 in Pikeville, Kentucky, and grew up in Columbus, Ohio. Yoakam was surrounded by the wonderful sounds of bluegrass and honky-tonk music that would later help shape who he became as a musician. When he was young, he really loved listening to classic country music stars like Buck Owens, Merle Haggard, and Hank Williams, but he also liked the rebellious sound of rock and roll. This special mix of different music styles would end up creating his unique sound, a combination of old-fashioned country music and modern rock music that made him different from other Nashville artists during the 1980s. When Yoakam moved to Los Angeles in the late 1970s, he was going to a place that wasn't really known for country music. But it was there that he found his creative freedom, playing in the same clubs that had punk and rock bands like the Blasters and X. Yoakam's early shows quickly got people's attention because of their raw energy, his special voice, and his honest authenticity. His big break came in 1986 when he released his first album called Guitars, Cadillacs, etc., etc., which became a really important album in the neo-traditional country movement. The album had hit songs like Honky Tonk Man and Guitars, Cadillacs, and both songs showed his talent for bringing classic country themes back with a modern twist. Music critics and fans said he was like a breath of fresh air, someone who was bringing back the traditional sound during a time when fancy pop country was taking over. Throughout the late 1980s and 1990s, Dwight Yoakam's career took off as he kept making albums that mixed heartfelt stories with catchy rhythms. Albums like Hillbilly Deluxe in 1987, Buenas Noches from a Lonely Room in 1988. And this time in 1993 made his reputation strong as both a talented songwriter and a master at expressing emotions. His version of Elvis Presley's Suspicious Minds and his own haunting song, Ain't That Lonely, yet showed his range and depth, connecting different generations of country and rock fans. Yoakam's special fashion style with tight jeans, cowboy boots, and his signature low-hanging Stetson hat became just as famous as his voice, showing his love for tradition while keeping his own unique image. Besides his music success, Dwight Yoakam built an amazing acting career, showing that his talents went way beyond just performing on stage. He appeared in several well-known movies, including Sling Blade in 1996, where his scary performance as the mean character Doyle Hargraves got lots of praise from critics. He also starred in Panic Room in 2002, The Newton Boys in 1998, and Crank in 2006, showing how good he was at both serious and funny roles. His natural charm and intensity worked really well on screen, earning him respect in Hollywood as a serious actor rather than just a musician who tried acting. Over the years, Yoakam has stayed committed to keeping the roots of country music alive while also continuing to try new things. His 2003 album Population Me and later albums like Three Pairs in 2012 and Secondhand Heart in 2015 showed an artist who never forgot where he came from but kept growing as a creative person. Three Pairs was especially praised by critics for its adventurous spirit and fresh energy that connected with both longtime fans and younger listeners. Yoakam's work with other artists, like Beck and Michelle Branch, showed how open he was to mixing different music styles while staying true to his hillbilly soul. Beyond all his achievements, Dwight Yoakam's legacy is in his authenticity and his refusal to change his artistic vision for anyone. He brought traditional country music back into the spotlight when it was in danger of being forgotten because of commercial trends. His influence can be heard in the music of many modern artists who say he was a pioneer of the neo-traditionalist and alt-country movements. More than just a singer, he became a symbol of artistic integrity, bringing together honky-tonk toughness and rock and roll attitude. Today, Dwight Yoakam continues to perform and record music, captivating audiences with his timeless sound and magnetic stage presence. His contribution to American music is huge, a lasting example of the power of authenticity, storytelling, and heart. Whether through his classic songs, exciting performances, or movie roles, Yoakam's artistry keeps reminding us that true creativity goes beyond genres and generations. He stands as both a protector of country's past and a fearless innovator shaping its future, a legend whose influence will echo for many years to come. In 1992, Dwight Yoakam found himself in the spotlight not only for his music, but also for his personal life when he started dating famous actress Sharon Stone. Stone, who had just become internationally famous for her performance in Basic Instinct, was one of Hollywood's most talked-about stars at the time, and her relationship with Yoakam, the Kentucky-born country singer known for his honky-tonk revival sound and rockabilly edge, created a media frenzy. The two showed up together publicly at the 1992 Academy Awards ceremony, a glamorous moment that made their brief relationship one of the most surprising celebrity couples of the year. Their appearance on the red carpet was the subject of intense tabloid attention, with reporters and fans wondering about the unlikely romance between the movie star and the country singer. The relationship, though it didn't last long, created a lot of rumors, especially among fans of Yoakam's music. Around that time, he released his praised album, This Time, which had some of his most thoughtful and emotionally powerful songs. Many people thought that the lyrics were inspired by Stone or their whirlwind romance. However, Yoakam was quick to clear up these ideas. He explained in interviews that while he had a lot of respect for Stone, the songs on This Time were not written about her. He also said that their relationship lasted for about 5 weeks, and although it was brief, it had been a positive and memorable experience in his life. Despite the breakup, both kept their respect for each other, and Yoakam's quiet discretion helped him avoid the drama that often affected celebrity relationships in the early 90s. In 1994, Yoakam's romantic life again got public attention when he met MTV personality Karen Duffy at a party. Duffy, known for her charisma and charm as an MTV VJ, was also making a name for herself as an actress and writer. The two quickly formed a connection and started dating soon after, becoming one of the most talked-about couples, connecting the worlds of country music and pop culture. Unlike his relationship with Sharon Stone, Yoakam's time with Duffy was more private and steady, marked by mutual respect and shared humor. They were often photographed together at industry events, with Duffy describing Yoakam as a deeply intelligent and grounded man, despite his fame. Their relationship lasted until 1996, and though they eventually went their separate ways, they did so in a friendly way, both expressing fondness for the time they spent together years later. Yoakam would find lasting love away from the media spotlight. On May 4, 2020, he married his longtime fiancée, Emily Joyce, in Santa Monica, California. Their wedding happened under extraordinary circumstances during the height of the COVID-19 pandemic. Out of respect for public health rules, the ceremony was small and intimate with only 10 guests attending. The couple, who had been together for over 10 years before getting married, chose to focus on the love and simplicity of the moment rather than the glamour of a big public celebration. Yoakam's representatives shared that the wedding was done safely and that the couple waited patiently to get married until it could be done responsibly. Just a few months later, the couple got even more happy news. On August 16, 2020, Dwight Yoakam and Emily Joyce welcomed their first child, a baby boy. The birth of his son marked a new chapter in Yoakam's life, one filled with family, fatherhood, and gratitude. Fans around the world celebrated the news, seeing it as a fitting and heartwarming milestone for the artist, whose songs had long talked about themes of love, heartbreak, and redemption. For Yoakam, who had spent decades in the public eye, the arrival of his child represented a deeply personal joy and a chance to embrace a quieter, more private happiness after years of fame and musical success. For years, country star Dwight Yoakam and Hollywood actress Sharon Stone were the subject of fascination, rumors, and endless tabloid stories. Now at 69, Yoakam has finally opened up about what really happened between them and what the relationship meant to him. Their brief but high-profile romance in the early 1990s became one of the most talked-about pairings between music and movie royalty. It was one of those moments in life where two people just happened to cross paths at the right time, even if only for a little while, Yoakam explained in a recent interview, thinking back on that whirlwind period of fame, chemistry, and constant public attention. The two met in 1992 when both were at the height of their careers. Sharon Stone had just become world famous after her breakout role in Basic Instinct, while Yoakam was a big force in country music, known for hits like Guitars, Cadillacs, and 1,000 Miles from Nowhere. I remember thinking she was one of the most intelligent and magnetic people I'd ever met, Yoakam said. She had this energy, part Hollywood glamour, part philosopher, part small-town girl who'd seen the world. It was impossible not to be drawn to her. Their first meetings were casual, often at industry events or parties with mutual friends, but it wasn't long before their connection got deeper. Their relationship became official when they showed up together at the 1992 Academy Awards, walking arm in arm down the red carpet. That one appearance started a media storm. Suddenly, the country crooner and the movie star were on every magazine cover. "It was wild," Yoakam said. "I was used to attention from the music world, but this was a different level. With Sharon, everything got bigger. The cameras, the questions, the assumptions. We couldn't go anywhere without being followed." Despite the glitz surrounding them, Yoakam says their time together was surprisingly down to earth. They would often escape to quiet restaurants or stay home, sharing music and stories instead of going to glamorous parties. "We didn't have some kind of Hollywood romance where everything was about being seen," he said. "We talked about life, art, and faith." Sharon was incredibly insightful. She had a way of seeing through the noise and finding the truth in things. However, the intensity of the spotlight took its toll. Rumors spread that songs from Yoakam's 1993 album This Time were written about Stone, but he firmly denied it. "People love to connect dots that don't exist," he said with a laugh. "I write about emotions, sure, but not every lyric is a diary entry. Sharon inspired me in ways that went beyond any song. She reminded me to stay curious, to take chances." The relationship, though short-lived, lasted about 5 weeks. Yet, Yoakam looks back on it with deep respect and gratitude rather than regret. "It wasn't meant to be forever, and that's okay," he admitted. "Some people come into your life to teach you something or to wake something up inside you. Sharon did that for me. She challenged how I saw fame and creativity. I think we both learned from each other." He also talked about how the media sometimes twisted the truth. There were all these wild stories about jealousy or big fights. None of that was true, Yoakam explained. "We were two people who cared for each other but had very different worlds to live in. At the time, I was touring constantly, and she was filming all over the globe. We just couldn't make it work." Now, decades later, the country icon looks back with nothing but admiration for Stone. "Sharon's one of the strongest people I've ever known," Yoakam said softly. "She's gone through health challenges, career ups and downs, and she's still standing, still shining. That kind of strength is rare. I have nothing but respect for her." When asked whether he ever thought about getting back together with her, Yoakam smiled. "Life moves on and you learn to appreciate people for the time they were in your story," he thought. "I think we'll always have a fondness for that time. A little spark that belonged to another era. But what matters most is the friendship and the memory of two people who shared something honest." As he gets close to 70, Dwight Yoakam remains one of country music's most lasting and respected figures, a man known not only for his timeless voice, but also for his thoughtful honesty about life and love. His thoughts on Sharon Stone reveal not a scandalous past, but a real connection between two driven souls who found each other briefly amid the chaos of fame. "I'll always be grateful for her," he concluded. "Not every story has to end with forever to be meaningful."